What's up guys, Coach Louie here. Last week, I was at Fit Foundry in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is a gym that I do nutrition coaching for. And while I was there, I was asked to help a few of my clients with their nutrition planning. Now, the reason why is because although it's done online exclusively, even with the amount of communication done, sometimes explaining it face to face, having just a genuine, authentic conversation tends to make things that much better. So what you're gonna see is literally a conversation that's as candid as it possibly can get, although I decided to record it because I thought that this would be a very good opportunity to teach other people the same kind of skills that would help people like yourself learn how to weigh food, why you weigh your food, and just the fact that the food scale itself is just an added security measure when you're trying to reach your goals, whether it's to lose body fat or even put on muscle. So without further ado, here are two of my clients and how I explain to them how to weigh the food, what you would do, and why you shouldn't do it without a food scale.
Hi guys, it's Hannah, Alexis, I do the nutrition coaching. Anyway, so I'm teaching them how to use a food scale because someone is having trouble and refuses to measure out her protein powder. So let's make this a wonderful thing for everybody. Okay, so as I was explaining, so I say measure your protein powder because if you scoop out protein powder, right? I explain it to you. If you scoop it out, what's happening is there could be air bubbles, or you're not getting the full amount of protein powder in that scoop, right? So like, unlike liquid where you can pour, we can pour, or we can scoop out liquids with the cup and it'll take up the entire area of that. If you're scooping out something, like scooping out a solid with a cup or a scooper, you might have air bubbles, you're not gonna, it won't always be a proper measurement, right? So it might be semantics, but it's a lot easier to just weigh it out, right? Just like as I explained, like there's really no difference between you weighing your body on a scale and seeing your like how much you weigh, what your weight is, what your mass is, so to speak, on the scale as a number versus putting food on the same scale, right? So when I say to weigh your powder, well, number one, it's because like you had a question, like 30 grams of protein powder doesn't mean that you're getting 30 grams of protein, for instance, right? So you want to make sure that the weight of the powder is, you want to be able to yield as much protein from that, right? So if I was to do 70 grams of the protein powder that you have in 12 ounces of water, that yields about 50 grams of protein, which is perfect, right? Especially when you're, as you're trying to get more protein in. So, and it's an easy source. What makes it easy with the food scale is that one, no ounces.
Grams.
Never. That's right. You always want to see the G. So look, here we go. No ounces, and you always want to see the G in the bottom corner because that's grams. It's a lot easier to measure. Now, look. So the thing is that, for instance, let's say you have the protein powder. Right? You need 70 grams of protein. If you scooped out, you would have no idea how much protein powder you're actually getting in that scoop. Right? No idea. So you could be overdoing it, you could be underdoing it, you might be on the money. Who knows?
So if you fill a scoop, you think you could be that off?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. It's no different than when someone says, "Oh, I only have 2 tablespoons of peanut butter." When you realize how much 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is versus what they actually scoop out, it's ginormous how much peanut butter. So that's why it's always better to be safe than sorry, especially in the beginning, right? And it also teaches you portion control, and it teaches you like, wow, like this is actually a lot of calories, and this is a little bit of food, or this is I can actually eat more with this certain with certain food because it's actually not as many calories per serving. So the idea is, if you want to get a quick protein shake in, what you're going to do is you're going to you'll scoop it off, like you'll scoop off the top, put it to the side. You'll take out the scooper, put it to the side. You're gonna have your shaker with your 12 ounces of water. You're gonna just leave it right there. So right now it's still pretty easy, right? And then this is where people get freaked out. They see numbers. When people see
Yeah.
numbers, they get freaked out.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those.
So, but you have to remember that when you see the number, it's just an indication of the weight of whatever it is you're grabbing, right? And in this instance, because you're scooping away, the scale itself is going to show a negative number. It's going to show you what you've scooped out, all right? So you're going to turn the scale on. Boom. Now, with that tub of protein powder, it's going to have a 0, right? It's going to show up at the 0. And it's going to have that little, and you want to make sure, again, it's going to have that little G. Now, you need to scoop out 70 grams. Now, again, if you just scooped it out without the scale, without anything, you would have no idea. But let's say you decided to scoop it out, you pour it in, and you now realize you're at negative 30. Great. Now you've scooped out, you've scooped out 30 grams of protein powder, and you need 70 grams of protein powder. So then you scoop it out again. Boom. Now let's say this becomes, let's say you hit it again on the money, and now all of a sudden it says minus 70. Minus 70, you just scooped out 70 grams of protein powder. It's in your shake. You've already logged it in for the day, so you know you already accounted for it, right? And you're done. Put the lid on, put it back, and shake it up, shake it up. Right? Like, really, then go ahead and do your thing. It becomes so second nature so quick. Like,
I've never done it like that. I always just like measure the scoop, like weigh the scoop, and then zero it out.
That's it, you see, and you'll because of that. So remember, if you do it that way, well, you're running the risk of the fact that, again, there could be air bubbles inside. There's, you're not actually having as much protein powder, right?
Okay.
So it's
That's
easier.
so funny. I've never.
It's so easy to just think of it like this. The scale is just another layer between the table and the food, right? So if you were to pull out, for instance, let's say you were right now. Let's say you went home, you wanted to have that wrap you were talking about, right? So you grab your plate, boom, but you missed the scale. All that scale, is literally, for the food scale, is just that added layer of protection, right? So instead of you pulling out the plate like you would normally do, and grab the wrap as you normally do, lettuce, whatever, maybe you slice some meat, you're like, oh, that looks like something that I would normally have, just drop it there. If you did that, you still have no idea. But this is just this is your security. This is your added protection, so that you can still put the plate on there, still put the wrap on there, still doing everything you would normally.
Oh, you're weighing the wrap?
No, well, the wrap I wouldn't, because it's already been cut. Like, you don't weigh the wrap. But I'm just saying, like, for everything.
I was like.
No, you don't have to weigh the wrap.
Yeah. Peace out. It's been great.
No, with the wrap, like so that like people get really trivial, like people really do get trivial in that
Oh my God,
in that sense,
I'm not
like
trying to be a bodybuilder.
No.
I'm just trying to fit into my jeans.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So like that. So the thing is, like, the wrap, wraps they're mass produced. They're already cut pretty much the same exact size, weight, etc.
Yeah.
Like, that's semantics. But like the things we actually care about is the amount of the weight of the chicken, the weight of the beef, the weight
that
of
I can
you
wrap
know what I'm
my
saying?
head around.
Hey, okay.
All right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so like the food scale literally is just added protection, nothing more, right? It's just a way to keep you accountable and keep you, and like I said, when you're entering it in your MyFitnessPal, we've already now put in 2 protein shakes, right? So